President Joseph R. Biden on Wednesday said climate change should be regarded as an essential element of U.S. foreign policy and national security. That is likely to bring big changes for America's role in the world. That the Biden administration has rejoined the Paris Agreement, the global pact embraced by nearly 200 countries to slow down climate change, is only the first step, foreign policy experts say. Taking on climate change will require a reassessment of everything from United States military posture in the Arctic to helping fragile countries deal with the fallout of climate risks. It changes defense posture, it changes foreign policy posture, said John D. Podesta, a former Obama administration official. It begins to drive a lot of decision-making in foreign policy, diplomacy and development policy. The White House executive order offered a glimpse of that shift. It directed the nation's intelligence agencies to assess the risks posed by global warming around the world, and it directs all government agencies to figure out how climate considerations fit into their international priorities. Addressing climate change can, and will be, a central pillar of the Biden administration's foreign policy, said Meghan O'Sullivan, who served as a deputy national security advisor under President George W. Bush and now leads the Geopolitics of Energy Project at the Harvard Kennedy School. It means infusing the issue of climate and environment into our trade policies, our foreign aid programs, our bilateral discussions and even our military readiness. John Kerry, a veteran politician-diplomat who is the new American envoy for climate change and a member of Mr. Biden's National Security Council, is in charge of navigating that shift. Here are 4 big things to watch in the coming weeks and months. On his first day in office, Mr. Biden began the process of rejoining the Paris Agreement. Now comes the hard part. The United States, which is responsible for the single largest chunk of greenhouse gases that have warmed the planet since the industrial age, needs to set specific targets to reduce its own emissions by 2030, and to put in place domestic policies to achieve them. Greenpeace has urged a 70% reduction in emissions from 2010 levels, while the World Resources Institute and other American advocates have pushed for around 50%. That puts Mr. Kerry in a tricky position. More ambitious targets would give him more leverage over other countries ahead of the next global climate talks, set for November in Glasgow. But setting targets for domestic emissions reductions will not be so simple politically, especially with a split Senate. White House officials said Wednesday they expect the new emissions reductions targets to be announced before the Global Summit on Earth Day, April 22. In a speech to American mayors on Saturday, Mr. Kerry signaled that the administration would seek to balance the ambitious with the realistic.